Very possible here. We haven't seen Feather play the Camille yet, so EDG could also make the call here that, like, hey, you know, Parukia might be the only Camille player in this lobby, and they are going to take that Lee Sin away from Junhao, which has been a menace. I think if you wanted to ban the Camille, I think you would have wanted to drop one of the mid lane bans, perhaps more likely. It's going to be blind Cassiopeia here for Heru.
No Syndra, no Rise. Sure, I'm okay with that. It does mean that Bulldog is probably going to reach for comfort. We've seen him already play the Talia. Would be an okay matchup. You could also opt for Twisted Fate, but could be a little bit more risky if you try to go for that. EDG on the answer, trying to look for some hovers. I think the Vi hover is very, very good. You're going into Cassiopeia and taking that away. There's no Jarvan in the game anymore, and with Trundle now taken from Game 1 Fearless, I think it is a good enough pick going in. So it seems like they're going to go for the Gnar that we were mentioning and the Vi. Strong team fighting. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good Gnar angle based on those bans like you already called out, but Keshi is the kind of guy who will play some funky Gnar counters. He'll play the Yasuo, he'll play the Jax, if he sees the opportunity to do so. His Ambessa is still up. This guy, I think, has really made a name for himself on that pick more than anything. I think it's been his most impressive champion. It's still left up. It's going to get locked in.
Harder lane matchup. We have just seen that even with Electrocute on Ambessa, it's still not enough against the Gnar. We do kind of get some kind of dive with, you know, the Cassio and just this top side here from ThunderTalk. They can get very tanky once they hit 2 items. EDG just, I don't think Locke has enough damage right next to him.
Not into the Cassio.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're not gonna. We got baited by hovers.
Dude, Rookie did it yesterday.
That was terrible. Yeah, that was pretty bad. He's a little old for that. I would do an age check real quick. You have to show your ID before you pick Locke, and they're like, is there a 1 at the start of your birth date or your birth year? Maybe not. Maybe not.
Whew. I mean, that's rough. That's look, Bulldog goes for a different champion this time, so we don't have to hammer on the Locke any harder than we already have. But thank you for not picking it, Bulldog, into Cassiopeia as your matchup. So, bot lane bans now coming on through. Technically, On could also pilot this Cassiopeia. It's not guaranteed to be up against the Ahri. So they do still get the chance to be flexible. That is what we saw ThunderTalk 2 in game number 1. Keep that flex alive for as long as they could. And of course, there will be one more EDG selection before we get to see much more supports being pushed down to pretty late in the draft here. So that Camille stays up. I wonder if we see the Camille ban in Phase 2.
Maybe could also go for other AD carries that Leave would want to try to hyper carry on. Senna gets a little worrisome. Okay, so that joins. Wonder if ThunderTalk are going to be looking at the Senna or if they're going to be taking something like the Jhin, because I do think that Jhin with Vi Ahri is a very, very good combination of champs. Right now, EDG are going for what looks to be kind of like a standard team fight composition. My worry is that ZDZ's Gnar this year has not been very good. I think he's had really bad times of connecting with his team, of coordinating, him having Mega Gnar and them starting fights. So I have to go off of what the patterns have been, and I just don't really like what EDG have drafted, even if the champions, barring away the nameplates, is fine.
Yeah, I think that's a fair shout on EDG and how they've played with the Gnar so far this season. I think that's definitely true when he played it up against LGD a couple days ago. LGD, enunciate, Gordo. As we get to Karma as potentially the selection here, Ezreal Karma is still up as a duo, can't take both at once. EDG will snap up that Ezreal, so they do give Leave an AD carry.
Feeling good. Feeling good for now. We'll see if that continues to be the case, as now with Ezreal plus Ahri, you can actually outrange a lot of this ThunderTalk composition. Cassiopeia is going to be fine just because she can build usually into Rod of Ages or the Rylai's Crystal Scepter if you just need the HP. On top of potentially buying a Rocket Belt, ThunderTalk now are going to be playing a composition that kind of wants to take fights really slow your opponents down before they can find any bursts. Seraphine is perfect for that. Cassiopeia is perfect for that. Nefiri just having an untargetability skill. I think ThunderTalk, if fights last like an extended amount of time, Jin's going to get damage down as well. They just need to not immediately die going into fights.
Yeah, definitely. I think Feathers Seraphine has been one of his best champions so far this season.
Yes.
I've been really impressed with some of the Flash Encore stuff he's been able to do. He has a really good feel for how that ability should be used, where it can be extended, what the extensions are going to do to the range. Everything about that ability, I think he's been really, really clean with. So I am excited to see him back on this pick, even though we're a little bit less Enchanter focused. Gets the chance to play an Enchanter versus Enchanter meta matchup here. I'm also curious to see Parukia on the Karma. This is his first Karma this year. I know it feels weird to say on a year that's had so much Karma, but this Enchanter stuff has not been Parukia's wheelhouse. I think that's part of why we didn't see him in spring.
Yeah, it's been kind of just he has a really strong eye for engage, and I will say his Enchanter play has gotten better. I think that he's gotten better at champions like the Bard. He's obviously not had a ton of games to be able to play Enchanters, but it's been marginally playable. I am just looking at ThunderTalk having a Nefiri, and it's Junhao's Nefiri. This is the guy that introduced Nefiri into the global meta last year in 2025. If they find Parukia in a side or him moving around in the jungle, that's just a free kill. And that immediately snowballs the game. There are so many moving parts of this Edward Gaming comp that if one of them falls apart, if Ari's not in a good spot, if Karma gets picked off, I think ThunderTalk just run away with this game.
全军出击！
We got there. I
We
wasn't super pleased because the EDG chants were very unorganized.
Just like EDG.
Yes! It's top down. It's fans and players.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to go back to your point here about picking Parukia, because I think that is definitely a big risk here. Parukia, coming into this series, leads the LPL in deaths per game. My man has been stacking them up this season so far, so we'll see if he can be a little more responsible over the course of this game, because he's going to need to be. If he just gives over a bunch of kills to this Nefiri, this Ambessa, it's going to spell quite a bit of disaster for EDG.
I would hope that the team that is 0-2 in the league, and I think is 1-4, is the most deaths per game. When you're on the worst team, you're going to be dying a lot, especially
fair.
in support. And he had that Camille game. Yeah, that champion is a deaths per game farm champ. So Junhao's going to go for an invade. This is what we saw when we had Vi versus Nefiri in the regular meta. And wait, Lee's actually just... Okay, I thought they were going to try to walk him in, but he really does not want to get spotted. He wants to try to invade.
Ooh, Keshi going to be forced to flash early here, but ZDZ's running him down on the Gnar. Flashes underneath the turret. Solo kill. First blood. ZDZ.
Junhao gets 2 of the early wolves. That's it. So going well for EDG early. Good laning phase. We've seen the lethal tempo get adopted by the Gnar to get all of those hyper procs. Really strong start. And Heru's going to maybe lose his flash here, or Xiaohao ends up in mid.
All right. Well, Summoners flying in that top lane, but nobody does suffer a long-term consequence. The TP right back from Keshi. Here comes the dive onto Parukia, who is left out to dry here. He is going to use the flash, but Junhao is all over him. Ooh. And will pick up his first of the game. Now Leave getting back to lane, but going to find that he is partnerless.
It's experience, right? He also went for D-Helm to start, which can be a bit difficult. You know, you're getting all of those resistances, but you don't really have the damage. And just another wave that they're going to be missing here from EDG on at least one member. Great dive, and it's a kill going over to Junhao. It kind of feels like it's exactly how he wrote it up.
Yeah. Keshi still taking the rough end of some trades here up against old ZDZ. Going to have to reel that play in. He wants to be able to actually get to have his highlight Ambessa games that we do know him so well for. Noting Xiaohao up on this top side as well has been very effective at ganking top throughout this series and throughout this split. Is probably going to get another chance to do it here. Wallop connects out of ZDZ, and he's nearly going to find the solo kill. He might just get it. He already picked up the boulder. Here comes Xiaohao, and Keshi, he's TP-less. He's got nowhere to go. Gonna try to dash back through. Doesn't get hit by the boomerang. The minion wave blocks it. Keshi survives.
That's a massive win, and now they can go for bottom lane as well.
Oh, Parukia has no flash, man. This guy's got nowhere to go.
No.
On this immobile Karma, the miss on the deadly flourish will be the difference maker. Botched execution on both sides of the map by both teams.
He was one auto away. Oh, Keshi.
Keshi?
Oh, okay. That looked like it was a minor interaction where he got locked out of an auto attack there because the minion died. Very close. Could have been another solo kill, but now he's just going to miss this next wave. It's already going to crash. He's just going to have to deal with it, and he is just thanking his lucky stars he didn't get killed underneath that turret, because that would have made it from bad to basically unplayable.
Yeah, no, that was flirting with disaster there. Gonna be very happy he made that one away. Gonna say very much thank you to those minions for blocking the boomerang. It was on a collision course with Keshi there, but does not reach far enough because it had already passed on through. Parukia gonna be pretty thankful as well for the missed deadly flourish. Think gonna need to clean that up on if you want to be able to walk away with the advantage that you've earned. It's okay, Junhao still with a faint gold lead, gonna redeploy back up towards the top side as his camps respawn. Not too much interest in the Dragon at this stage. He will get an opportunity on that second creep.
Yeah, Xiaohao's actually like far in his jungle camp right now because he's gonna finish his Gromp, which will put him halfway to level 5, halfway to level 6. He'll go to Wolves, which will get him close, and then he gets one more camp and he's level 6. Feels pretty good. He's pathing top as well. Might just go for a dive here. And I'm looking at all of the camps that are spawning here for Junhao. This is going to be a 2-on-1 dive, and Keshi's not even going to hit level 6.
Yeah. ZDZ with the access to that Gnar is just so dangerous to jump in onto. Doesn't have control over the wave either. ZDZ's going to freeze this on him. He's having a really solid performance in this lane so far in this game number 2. It is building a lead up to EDG. There's going to catch him with the Gnar, and ZDZ going to look for another solo kill as he shifts back into mini form. Easy peasy ZDZ, 2-0.
Ooh, this is so tough now. I mean, one, Junhao doesn't have the Evolve Smite, so he's going to be down damaged. Xiaohao can now take the bottom side scuttle, get level 6, and then Dragon is just going over to EDG. Great control of top side, and now they just can use this to completely blanket bottom lane. Just using the scuttle instead to get vision and information. Could have been a timer. Maybe you're a little bit trepidatious just because Bulldog took a recall, so I can see the reasoning there as well.
Yeah, man, I mean, this is a matchup Keshi opted into. Getting solo killed twice is not it, man. Really going to be a deficit in the top lane for them. Granted, this was kind of the case in game number 1 as well. We saw the Olaf set pretty far behind, and ThunderTalk had no problems being able to recover later on just by setting up some good fights. We are once again in that territory. They're going to need to find some very good fights, as ZDZ is not going to relent on this pressure. I wonder if they called Junhao to try to bail him out, or they just abandoned top entirely.
He's going for Raptors right now, and it seems like Xiaohao as well is going to say, hey, we're just going to keep farming. ZDZ, I'm not helping you because you're already a level up at this point. You should be completely fine. When are we going to stop this trade, by the way? When are we going to stop saying, hey, we're going to pick Gnar, or we're going to pick Mbessa into Gnar? Every game that we have seen it so far in the LPL, I'm like pretty sure it has lost lane incredibly difficult. So we're putting 4 members top here.
Yeah, we're going to try to cover this. Well, Keshi was looking for it. He didn't find it, but he did take a peek. Public execution, dangled out, does not connect. And, yeah, it's just kind of a waste of a lot of folks' time here from ThunderTalk. They're going to do the full lane swap. They're going to put On and Feather up here and move Keshi to the bottom lane.
Just get yourself the grubs. Heru's got to be careful, because if he steps too far to the right, he just loses all control of the lane. Xiaohao's here as well.
Really nice dodge there on the charm. Heru's been good at that. Every time we've taken a peek mid, he's been connecting the Noxious Blast, getting the movement speed, using it to evade charm, and it has successfully given him some strong trades up against Bulldog. And it does look like ThunderTalk, they're not going to walk away from the 4-man top with nothing. They are going to secure themselves all 3 grubs.
Yeah, they're just going to keep these lanes. Look, you're already down 1,000 gold, and it's just an Ezreal. Shouldn't have kill threat onto Keshi. I mean, the ultimate by itself gives you some Omnivamp on damage, so it's just going to be an equalizer just to make sure that Gnar doesn't make Keshi a complete void when it comes to being on the map. Getting any kind of gold is really important. Instead, we're going to get a swap back. Very, very, very big that Keshi is not too far away from the lane because he doesn't have the quest completed. If ZDZ, who's already probably close to finishing it, gets it really early, that's when the experience differential becomes too much. That's when the actual Gnar, I think, takes over the game.
Yeah, you don't want to fall too far behind an XP on the Mbessa. EDG are going to successfully cash this out for the Dragon. The very first going to fall here at 9:30. A little late. I'm not going to be thinking about soul stacking at least for a little while, but still, at the very least, they're going to equalize those grubs from earlier on. And yeah, ThunderTalk kind of pressured into keeping Keshi top lane at least some amount of the time, like you said there, Alk. So will just need to stay in that, deal with the Gnar as best as he can for as long as he can, recognize that trading not really in the cards for him, and he just needs to be using that Drakehound step to keep his distance, keep himself safe.
Just look at the items, right? Like, completed plated steel caps versus none. He's got a D shield, and he's got a couple of swords or a couple of long arms in his inventory. You're not doing very much, and as soon as ZDZ finishes the quest, I'm going to be looking at Keshi and saying, okay, so how much longer is it before you finish yours? Because that bonus experience that you get up there could turn into a full level. It could turn into 2 levels, and then now the onus is on ZDZ to be able to, you know, transition that lead for the rest of his team. Definitely.
Xiaohao up here is on vision, so is just kind of wasted a bit of time. Junhao in the same pixel brush on the same or on the opposite side. But Xiaohao is sticking around here. He wants to make this dive happen. See if Keshi's going to be able to survive this one. Xiaohao coming on through. He does have the public execution. If he can buffer it well, it will give him a path out. And yeah, Xiaohao just gives up on the play because Heru was making a beeline up from the mid lane. TP now going to get used for Bulldog. Junhao going to be waiting for him as soon as he gets out. Not going to take the second hit from the double daggers, so we'll just be a little bit of poke damage from the doggies.
There was a lot of vision for that play, by the way. Like, EDG, they had the ward inside the brush, outside of the Baron pit. They knew exactly where Heru was the entire time, and they just said, look, we don't have a guaranteed amount of CC. Keshi still has flash and ultimate. We're just going to take this. We're going to move ourselves back instead of putting ourselves at a 2 versus 2. I think I was very respectful from EDG, because either they win and it basically snowballs them the rest of the game, or they lose that and suddenly the game is in jeopardy.
Yeah. Junhao taking good advantage of it, though. Does show up to mess with Bulldog. Gets to steal away the Gromp. Almost got the scuttle for it, but thinks better of it as his bot lane is trying to get a recall off. And they should be, at the very least, maintaining CS parity with Xiaohao, if not taking a little bit of a lead, as his own camps are now coming back up for the respawn. Does still have that kill on the Nefiri. You really want to snowball on this champion every chance you get. He has completed the Cyclo sword, and ZDZ is just running down Keshi again. He's going to be forced to flash in the 1v1.
Yeah, and now I hate to revisit this, but look at the quests. ZDZ has had this completed for the last 45 seconds. Keshi has not. That's turning into a level and a half lead, and either he's teleporting to this top wave, or he's going to lose plates and more experience going over to ZDZ. This is going to be more and more problematic as the game goes on. He's level 11 at 12 and a half minutes.
Yeah, I mean, does get the Eclipse completed. That's going to give him a little bit more of a buffer, and he does use the TP up there. So this is likely ThunderTalk seeding this second dragon unless top lane gets set up in such a way that Keshi can walk down. But even then, it has the potential to sacrifice so much more. I think this is probably just them saying, you know what, we've somehow lost top lane so hard that we have to give up dragons. Heru up too far. Xiaohao over the wall, and this guy is not getting out of here. Wastes the flash, although is running it out. He's staying alive up against Bulldog. One more Twin Fang will do it. Does not manage to turn it around. Xiaohao got a little too confident on that too fast. Nearly allows the trade back from Heru.
Wow, the healing from the Ahri passive keeps Bulldog alive versus DFT and the poison ticks there. Such a close margin. I can't believe Heru even almost won a 1v2 there, or at least traded almost. That is really impressive. And that was also the flash there from Xiaohao. So, look, Keshi won't have teleport. ZDZ will be able to teleport. Now there's no flash from Ahri and no ultimate, at least for the time being. This healing from the Twin Fangs is disgusting, by the way.
He gets that petrifying gaze on the Ahri.
Yeah.
He gets the kill. be oneable
one
champion
more.
here. Oh, whoa,
Oh,
whoa,
whoa.
what is Junhao just walking in? Got hit by the charm, walks in further. Does
This
manage to
champion
get
is a
himself
freak.
away.
This champion is a freak in nature, man. Like, just perfect Ari counter, because anytime Ari tries to throw out a charm, it's like, I have 15 million dogs. Your response, you're not landing it on me.
Yeah, I mean, does manage to escape despite being in a very dicey position. Eviscerate doing a lot of work for the Defiri there to be able to move their way out of danger. Dragon number 2 has spawned, we mentioned earlier. This is probably EDG's because of the TP diff, and it does look like that is going to be the case.
I'm a little worried about that. I feel, hey, Vi doesn't have ultimate if we're tracking it. You could just go for a couple of fights, especially if you're going to be going for a Youmuu's Ghostblade on the Jhin, but then I look at the inventories and I say, we have Trinity Force on Ezreal. That looks very unplayable. Parukia's even finished Echoes of Helia. Alright, maybe we're not going for the Dragon. 2 of them going to EDG now. No Meganar for ZDZ for at least another 10 once it comes down. No Herald is pretty big.
Heru has the TP. Do they want to continue to mess with this Herald? Keshi getting the push up in top side, at the very least, farming up. But does look like ThunderTalk do not want to let this one go. It is 5v4 for now. Heru going for the recall. Will he TP over to try to partake, or are they just going to give this one up? They're still dancing around. Here comes the TP. Heru is arriving to the scene. ThunderTalk want to challenge for this. They think they've set themselves up one of their mid-game fights to be able to take this game back. They're going to launch the engage onto Keshi. He gets caught out by the charm. He will be executed in no time, and ZDZ does have his Mega Gnar back and available. Curtain Call opened up. Junhao diving on the lead. He's going to be able to shift out to safety. Curtain Call connects out of Parukia. Takes him to about half HP. The Rift Herald's been smited down by Xiaohao. Objective goes to EDG. Kills go to EDG. ThunderTalk send all 5 members and walk away with nothing.
Great spell usage from EDG where they layer the crowd control. It's a bit unfortunate because that's a moment for Keshi where you just got to use the ultimate to just unstoppable one of these crowd controls, because then it gives you some ability to move out of that. Never uses the ultimate, doesn't get to live. 0 in 3 now on a signature pick of his. Looking like the rest of his team's going to have to do a lot of heavy lifting this game, because you are 1,600 gold down with double dragons to EDG, and it's not like we have a lot of great side lane plays to go for. You're a team that kind of needed to roll through jungle, but there's such a big gap in the top side that it's, anytime ZDZ comes to a fight, it is basically unplayable for ThunderTalk.
Certainly feels that way. Do got to give a little bit of praise to ThunderTalk for not investing in that fight, despite the fact that they did send all 5 members. They did use Hero's TP. They did certainly want it at first, but when it goes bad, they back on out. They do not give up more than they have to, and their reward for that is that they're still only down about 1,000 gold, and they will have future opportunities.
I'm getting depressed, Gordo. I'm looking at this Jhin inventory, and it's getting worse by the moment. I'm seeing a Youmuu's. I'm seeing the components that potentially lead to a rapid fire cannon. Yep. I just don't see the damage here. Like, we've harped a lot on top lane, but you're gonna get a Black Cleaver finished for Junhao. Should be nice. You're gonna get 2 items. Oh, wait a minute. This might actually. Wait, this is turning into a Stormrazor. Okay, I'm less depressed. Okay, I've been cured. Oh, that's barrier
That's
from
simple,
Leaf.
huh?
Oh,
That's simple, huh?
look, you can cure depression by simply going outside. The sun is great for doing that, and seeing not RFC second item on Jhin is like the beautiful amount of vitamin D straight from the deadly space laser.
Beautiful. As looking like Xiaohao making a visit to his favorite lane yet again, looking for Keshi. This time it's Bulldog who would have to help him out on the dive. Keshi finding a nice trade though, as Bulldog does take turret aggro for a second from the Foxfire. And Xiaohao is still in there.
No!
There we go. He gets the hit, and Keshi just can't help himself. Sticks his hand back in the cookie jar. But Junhao's there for the backup, and they will have to retreat.
That's his flash. That's his ultimate. You live to fight another day. I'm looking at bottom side, though, and Heru is getting 1v1'd by a Gnar. He is level 14, and he is just getting those hyper procs down, going band for band with a Cassiopeia, usually a champion that can be known for its strength in the one-on-one. ThunderTalk now have to transition all of their lead to the bottom side. Dragon's going to be spawning, and if they lose this next fight, I think it's very realistic with Gnar to actually see EDG potentially contest for a Baron that has a very similar spawn timer.
Yeah, I mean, ThunderTalk still trying to scale into this. The Stormrazor is complete. Heru still stacking up that Rod of Ages. Will not have it completed in time for Dragon number 3. And if EDG get this one, I mean, they're going to be challenging for Soul for the rest of the game. EDG is still just so powerful in the side lane, there is no available response. But for right now, as long as they see him pushing on this top side, maybe that opens up an opportunity to secure some vision in the river. If they play away from this Gnar, they are basically at parity.
Wait, he's not going to have Mega Gnar for this fight. Even if he goes and starts hitting jungle camps right now, it's going to take a few moments for him to build any kind of rage. They're trying to make a play onto Heru, but he has a lot of HP right now. I think this is really tough to ask for EDG to go for a dive. They're playing a 2-on-2 on mid. Junhao
are spotted up on top side, looking for the engage on a Junhao, not quite going to find it. On getting a good trade on to leave, takes him for half of what he's worth. TP coming in from Heru, and EDG are now truly disadvantaged over on this side. ZDZ is starting to stack up his Mega Gnar again, should be able to get it and be able to TP in with that force, but Leave has already lost so much HP. Now getting a little bit of it back. Rift Herald going to get thrown down in mid. They're going to buy a little bit of time with that one as well, while On is clearing out the wave. Actually jumping inside of it, looking for the knockups. We'll find them on the Heru. Where's the follow-up? No dash forward from the Ahri. Finds his way into the tower. Xiaohao able to get out of here. Bulldog taking a little bit of damage. Big True Shot Barrage makes its way through all four. Well aimed by Leave. That's going to give them that health bar advantage. Recall back from the Gnar. TP in from ZDZ as the Dragon will get started.
And he's going to teleport in. So is Bulldog. Keshi needs to join his team if there's going to be any chance. ThunderTalk, they had position over the Dragon. That Herald gives EDG the ability to walk back in. Leave, you have to be so careful.
Leave zoned out. Keshi has gotten in off the back of the TP. They do connect the Deadly Flourish. They connect the follow-up with the Encore. In goes Keshi with a beautiful public execution, and they get a one-shot out of the Ahri. Kiting it back out. Heru stays alive. Heru takes down his opposite jungler. Parukia pushed out through the bottom. Heru 1v1 with the Dragon, sustaining up onto it. EDG forced off the play. They lose their potential soul point, and they get 2 for 0'd in the fight.
And all it takes is one fight in this meta right now where everything goes back to parity. Another one where, I just gotta say, we're 1,500 gold up on this Gnar. Where was he in this team fight? Great execution from ThunderTalk to hold their nerve and keep themselves in this game. They get the Dragon. We've been praising so many of the individual members. Bulldog getting tagged there for a 2-man ultimate to set up the Mbessa, to set up the rest of this team. Leave was too far from this fight, and yeah, the Petrifying Gaze as well. ThunderTalk just finding the moment, finding the exact answer they need to keep them alive.
Encore to Petrifying Gaze is a hell of a combo. Charm forces them to turn towards you. Heru gets the double stun right afterwards. ZDZ can't do anything, and Bulldog, you cannot get hit by that Deadly Flourish, brother. That costs them the team fight right then and there. No chance to continue on. And they now get their gold lead cut in half. They get their Dragon stacking interrupted. Keshi is stepping up a little too far once again. He might lose his turret here, but the minions being dead is going to allow him to back off.
And if they spend way more time, that's just Baron, right? Like, you have a 2-item Jhin, which is maybe not going to be super impactful, but then you have this Cassiopeia who's level 15, Blackfire Torch plus Rod of Ages. She rips this Baron in half. It is 3-4. I thought this game feels like there's a lot more action than maybe it is reflected in the kill count, but the gold is even now. And ThunderTalk getting that Dragon just feels so good for their chances. They need to be able to protect Heru on this side lane and make sure that he picks up this wave, and I would want to see him pick up this turret because getting closer to 3-item Cassiopeia makes the game just way easier to play.
It's happening again. Alk, EDG get themselves the solid early game advantage, and they start to bungle some of the mid-game objective fights to give it back over. They need to lock in right now and execute on an important objective team fight. Get yourself a Baron. Get yourself onto that soul point. If they lose another one of these fights, it feels like this game is just going to be so difficult for them.
They're overloading to one side of the map. If they make a pick here, they're going to turn to Baron and try to squeeze more summoner spells out. Heru, you need to be careful. You have no flash, and you're getting completely flanked right now. Nobody from ThunderTalk know this is happening.
No, not a chance to get out of this from Heru. The charm doesn't connect, though. It hits a minion. Just gives them a little bit of time to trade back, but it will still be the quick pick. And they will turn on towards Baron, exactly like you said there, Alk. At the very least, they're going to bait ThunderTalk into coming over here to check.
They want to clear out all of this vision right now, and it's 2 minutes before the Dragon, so it'll allow for them to push this wave on the next round go. Thought they could have gone for Baron. We saw Bulldog backs. He doesn't actually have the teleport at the time, so just a good advantage. Getting that kill onto Heru alleviates some of the pressure. You're going to be able to have more members on the rest of the map. Now ZDZ will push this top wave. He'll probably move into mid afterwards. Ahri's catching this wave. So ThunderTalk are going to be behind the 8-ball when it comes to matching side lanes before this Dragon.
Definitely. And want to be able to take that side lane advantage to the promised land. If they can find it, EDG still so strong in that 1v1 anytime they get ZDZ in that position. Junhao getting engaged on, does call the pack to avoid that vault breaker and will be able to keep himself standing. Baron still on the table. Dragon spawning in about a minute. This would still, once again, be soul point for EDG, but this is why having bought that extra time by taking the Dragon last time is so important for ThunderTalk.
Guys, just hit the turret. It's what, 45 HP. It was one auto attack from going down. A turret goes away in bottom lane thanks to Keshi. I'm looking at these side lanes, still an advantage for EDG. Gnar goes Mega now, which means he'll have it up for the time of the Dragon spawning. Looks like they're getting a reset here for Bulldog, who, what does he buy with this? He recalls, teleports back in, and bought double control ward. Thumbs up. You guys can't see it, but there's a big fat thumbs up for me in the middle of the camera. Like, all right.
All right, that'll do something for you. You gotta hope. 3 items on this Cassiopeia, plus the boots, as she can dish out so much damage, especially on a Jhin that maybe is not going to be in that traditional DPS role. 3 seconds on this Dragon. Control over the river does belong to ThunderTalk. Recall coming on through from ZDZ, so that he will be able to join up this time. He's at a good amount of rage. Well set up to be able to go Mega shortly into the team fight. He's TPing into the long brush by mid here. And does arrive to the scene. And they're going over the wall. They're just going to pull the trigger onto Heru. He's up too far. He is one shot. And ThunderTalk immediately have to bail.
He has 3 items, but none of them are a Zhonya's or a Seeker's Arm Guard. So great punish coming in from EDG. It's exactly the snap we need to see when you're playing Vi Ahri. Dragon Soul goes over, or Dragon Soul Point goes over to EDG, and no ability to contest in mid.
They're trying to send everything they have on towards ZDZ. He's going to back away, but he does get taken down. And they will be able to back out away. Hound's Pursuit resets. A quick pick for ThunderTalk to bring them at 4v4 on the map. And now taking control over up this top side. They're going to try to punish as much as they can. Bulldog forced to flash backwards, worried about follow-up CC. And ThunderTalk just continuing to eke out little bits and pieces here and there.
Yeah, that's just Baron. I mean, it's a 4-on-5. Heru's going to be able to TP, and he has a Rod of Ages and this Riley's Crystal Scepter. He is so tanky. Now they're just going to be able to shred this. Can Xiaohao find the steal?
Heru stepping up. He has arrived to the fight. It's a 5 support. Flash, petrifying gaze. Does not connect the stun, but forces out both Leave and Bulldog. Over the wall. Almost a missed smite, but it goes to On of all people. And Baron is secured for ThunderTalk.
100 health is what I saw on that. We'll get the replay to check the HP value. That could have been a massive smite steal for EDG, but the Baron timer, it's only 2 minutes 45. It'll still have enough time for EDG if they want to set their map up how they want to before the Dragon. And ZDZ, I mean, we saw him, he uses the ultimate, he tries to bring Keshi in, but the shielding from his passive and from his spells on flashing forward, it's a nice pick. It's gold into their pocket, especially with the Baron, but I think losing flash on both Heru on the Baron fight afterwards and now with On, these are things that could bite them going into this Dragon and could make it very difficult for them to actually win this game number 2.
It's dire now for EDG. They need to be able to get this soul, man, because they are going to be under pressure across the map from this Baron buff. And really, really nicely done on the Chain CC once again here. On being on point with the Deadly Flourish to be able to start that play off and flashing forward, knowing the execute threshold to be able to finish it. Now ZDZ in Mega, gonna get pushed off this top turret. They will secure it for themselves, and ThunderTalk don't have to stop there.
EDG need to be able to answer on side lanes. I know this is Baron, I know this is 3 Grubs, but losing push on bottom lane wave and mid lane's even, this is a good spot for ThunderTalk to get a lot of gold before this next Dragon.
Yeah, tearing through some of these topside plates. They get the inner. Wouldn't mind seeing somebody moving over to one of these side lanes to take advantage of these wave states, but you know, if EDG's not doing it, ThunderTalk are going to be happy to just 5-on-5 siege. They're getting plenty of damage on across. Heru stepping up, On stepping up, finding good damage. The threat of the miasma preventing them from defending. An inner turret will drop. It's up to a 2.5k gold lead now for ThunderTalk. Baron power play doing very well for them, as now they look to push the wave up in mid. Fishing with the charm, Bulldog does not find it.
Very dicey. That could have been a charm that wins you the game right there, but I'm looking at the stacked waves here on sides. A great spot for ThunderTalk to be in. 40 seconds. It's going to be this wave, and then the next one after that, that'll be the last ones we see with this Baron. They're going to get 2-3 turrets off of this.
Opening up the curtain call once again, Miasma doing a whole lot of work. It's right into the Miasma. Leave shifts into the Miasma, gets himself picked. Down he goes.
Oh, Xiaohao's looking. He's in Fog of War. Fullbreaker goes on cooldown. That's 4 seconds. They're instead turning on to ZDZ. That is Hound's Pursuit.
4v4, Heru did drop in the clapback fight, so it's a carry for carry exchange. Bulldog now with 1 tick left of Spirit Rush, still getting pushed back. Keshi advancing forward with the Drakehound step. They're working on this inhibitor. They will secure it before the Baron drops on off.
They just got 4,000 gold from this. I mean, like EDG, they were the ones that were up 1,500 gold. Now it's 4K in their advantage. I can't wait to see these recalls. This is going to be LDR finished for On. This is going to be already a 3rd item that was here for Junhao. Everybody on ThunderTalk got paid, and they just picked up top lane tier 1 and 2, mid lane tier 2, and the entirety of the inhibitor in mid. Like, that's as good of a Baron as you're going to ask outside of just straight up ending the game.
Yeah, I mean, you can't do this, Leave. You can't do that. I mean,
that was a
Keshi.
Fog of War. That was a Fog of War and Bessa ult. I see the vision. And Xiaohao's dead!
Oh no, Xiaohao found Keshi TPs on top of his head to claim the kill for himself. Dragon spawning in 30 seconds. There's going to be no Xiaohao for that one. ThunderTalk successfully prevent the soul yet again.
It's not like this game gets any easier for them, by the way. I look at the inventories. On's he's making his way towards an Infinity Edge. A Seeker's Arm Guard has been completed here for Heru. Like, the longer that this game goes on, that kill threat, that ability to burst out a target with Vi Ahri just gets lesser and lesser. The margin becomes slimmer and slimmer, and now it's another Dragon going over to ThunderTalk. You're always going to be on soul point as EDG, but you do not want to play a long game versus Jhin and Cassiopeia.
Not at all. And ThunderTalk keeping the pressure on this bottom lane, making sure Junhao's going to have no problem soloing out this Dragon with all of his dogs. That will go over the way of ThunderTalk, and ZDZ and Heru now caught in a 1v1. Good dodge on that Petrifying Gaze from ZDZ, and a little early on the stasis should give over the one-on-one. Or will it? Heru trying to fight it out, flashes back onto his own Miasma, will be able to regen a little bit off of the minions, and Feather now
and
coming up. Feather, he's in there! Oh, no. Beat drop to stop that potential TP. Crazy 1v1, though.
So what do you value more here, Gordo? In a game where you are 34 minutes deep, Baron's going to spawn in 40, do you value having TP and flash on your Gnar top lane, or just the flash and the Seeker's arm guard gone from Heru. Is he going to get this with the snipe? Oh my god. The observers were setting us up for it. Not properly timed, nor was the position on it that great. Please tell me, Heru, you're going to have finished this Zhonya's. Not the case. He is not going to have either of those tools available for him.
He goes Oblivion Orb instead, interestingly enough, but will just be that little bit of value coming in towards this next fight. And I mean, it just means he's got to play full backline. That Charm connects onto the Fury. That's a rare sentence to say. But Junhao is able to get on out of there with the call to pack anyway.
And the Mikhails. Very important. Mikhail's no longer available here for Feather going into this fight. So another Charm to be able to find. Heru is stepping up incredibly bold here. No Flash and no Proto Belt, no Seekers still. That's a scary place to be in, but hoping that his team can back him up. Baron is up. Dragon is a spawn for another 3.5 minutes.
Junhao getting engaged on here. We'll be able to back it on off. And now, landing 10, poke over the wall. Heru going to get hit by that Charm. Will be able to get away. They don't have the follow-up. They can't get over the wall. And that ramp cut off by the Miasma. Heru, though, probably has to recall here all game long. He has been betting on his mechanics. He's been connecting these Noxious Blasts and relying on the movement speed to be able to dodge out and outplay, for better or for worse. This time forced to recall, coming back out. And it doesn't look like EDG are going to be able to find an opportunity to get much value out of that forced recall.
How much would this game have changed if On had landed some of these deadly flourishes? Picks onto Parukia, picks onto Leave, not materializing for this team. Baron is getting started. Bulldog is walking here. ZDZ has no Mega Gnar for this fight. This might just go over unless Xiaohao can find some kind of a steal. This is another Baron.
Chaparral coming on across, going to give them that little bit of vision. Xiaohao going to look for the steal, cannot get it, goes for the flash engage instead. They send everything they've got on Heru, and they do not kill him. Finally, Bulldog going to get the job done, but it's after the rest of the team fight has already been decided. Flash forward from Feather for the beat drop to lock down the carries.
That's it!
An ace to ThunderTalk for just the kill on Heru. It took them so damn long to stop that Cassiopeia, and before they know it, the team fight is over. 2-0 series for ThunderTalk to start off their first win of the split.
Show me On's player cam after that Baron another time. I need 100 of those. Inhibitor's going to respawn. It's not going to matter. Death timers are long, and they've got a Baron here. ThunderTalk getting revenge for On here yet again, and they're going to start off with a win in their third series of the split. Incredible stuff to fight back after that early game deficit.
You prepped us for the night talking about EDG early games, Alk, and I think that's going to be something we talk about all season long, unfortunately. Once again, 2 games in a row, EDG find the early advantage, get ZDZ ahead, and it does not matter.
Dude, just watching these fights, Junhao on the Nefiri, so many things coming in at the right time. Feather Seraphine, we didn't talk about it all that much outside of, you know, the really big ultimates, but that alongside just so many different factors in this game. A great job here from ThunderTalk, but where did that lead from ZDZ go? Just so many fights discoordinated from them. I'm worried for this team because now they're 0-3 in the first 5 days of the split.
It's a rough start here for EDG, but look at this ThunderTalk team, man. In a game where, in a series where we're going to be critical of Keshi, and there's plenty of those. There's been plenty of those all season long. I'm so impressed by how disciplined they play out these objective fights. They're really doing a great job of playing around the Narbar cooldown, diving in and out, recognizing when the fight is lost, sacrificing the opportunities, cutting their losses, and preventing the game from becoming unwinnable, and finding such great angles even from what appear to be on paper disadvantaged positions, taking the 4v5s in moments where members are cut off to be able to eke out more resources, eke out more advantages, and put themselves in a winning position.
Every part of that game heading into the 4th Dragon fight was EDG favored. EDG looked great. They spiraled a top lane lead to then move into some of these other lanes. Leaving Parukia almost kind of felt invisible for the most part, but they got the dragons and they were setting themselves up for a Dragon Soul win condition. They lose a huge fight where they don't have the consistent damage. And yet again, I come back to this part where we talk about this mid jungle for this team, for Edward Gaming. Where are the Flash Ahri charms? We get some of them, yes, but we need to see Bulldog and Xiaohao activated so much earlier if they want to be able to play a Vi Ahri. Vi and Ahri together have been nerfed multiple times since last year, and to the point where this combination has really started to fall off outside of other champions starting to rise as well. You need to do more in the early game. I want to see them do more if you're going to be picking this comp.
Yeah, I completely agree with you there. It is a rough start to the season for EDG, still showing some promise with what Xiaohao's been able to get done in the early games, with what ZDZ's been able to get done in the lane. 2 solo kills to him in this game. Puts himself into a favorable position, but they are just not able to execute around that advantage. A lot of it having to do with those Gnar bars, right? We continually talked about not having Mega at the right moment, losing Mega at the wrong moment, blowing the cooldown before you even TP in, and recognizing that that gives you like a 40-second window where there is no risk of that big flanking Mega Gnar, and they just make great use of it every single time.
They did a really good job, I think, from ThunderTalk of just the calm heads on this team. Yes, the solo laners, rookies, they sometimes make the wrong decisions, but it is so pivotal to have the people who are shot calling the game, or the people who are in the best positions to maneuver these pieces, be in bottom lane and in jungle. Junhao, kind of a journeyman. Same thing now with Feather, who is coming up on 3.5, 4 years of playing in the LPL. Same thing with On, who has been playing for forever now. Like, those are the consistent places that I want to have, like, the people who know the most about the game, or the people who are going to drive, especially Junhao.
Absolutely here. And a continuing really good split from Junhao. I don't think he gets the MVP in that last game. I think I would give that to one of the bot laners. I think On and Feather played a really clean game there. They weren't the driver of every single play, but I think they did a really good job of just holding their own, scaling into the game, and showing up when they had to. The encores were good. The flourishes were hit or miss, but when they hit, they sure hit, and On was able to dish out the damage as necessary. But all in all, I mean, I think Junhao continues to be the engine for this team. He continues to be doing such a great job of snowballing some games completely out of control, and at least being responsible and filling his role in the other games.
Look at this gold lead. Only 2,000, and at some point, ZDZ was up 3K. I was really impressed, or I thought he was anyway. It felt like he was up 3,000 gold, but we just never transitioned that lead. There's a lot of things that I think EDG need to look back on. There's obviously some map decisions that they made in game number 1 that they weren't able to cover over. Game 2 now, it almost feels like we just didn't have the same execution. And this is why I was hesitant about this change in mid lane, about bringing Bulldog in. He had good moments with Kroko, but bringing in a non-native, I'm sure Bulldog has been working on his Mandarin, but it is not at the level, I think, where he can more accurately and really deeply convey what he wants to do in a game, at least quickly on the spot. It is just leading to really big issues for this team to be actually able to do anything. Even if Leave gets a big lead or ZDZ gets a big lead, it just, you can never materialize a win without your mid-jungle.
No, not at all here. And, you know, this is one of many fights that we're seeing here where Heru was the focus each and every fight, as he needs to be, but they just struggled to get this guy down. He survived multiple team fights on tiny slivers. Really good job by the rest of ThunderTalk to be able to cover him, and then also just, you know, barely short on resources. I think that's some of where those Vi Ahri nerfs come into play there. All like, this was last year perhaps. Some of those combos do end up killing, but not the case here.
You also just went for a really weird build, by the way. Like, Malignance can perfectly fine. I actually want to... I hope that I can go back and catch Nymera's idea of this build, because obviously they're the big Ahri guy. Went for Malignance into Rocket Belt. You just do no damage on this Ahri at that point. So you need the ability haste, I get it. Just pick up a Crypt Bloom, get your free one. It comes with every single mage. This pick, we didn't see the start of this pick because we were in the middle of a replay.
Yeah, I mean, just finding him. Just finding him out there. I mean, Junhao's got tons of damage at that point. He's got 2 or 3 assassin items in. I think this is the Baron that gets last hit by Jin, by the way, so that's a little bit iffy, but you know what? Despite the early game disadvantage, Keshi shows up to the team fight, gets a good flank, gets on top of 3, dishes out a bunch of damage, and this is also another fight where they're diving back onto Heru, and they just can't get the job done fast enough. Eventually, they do finish him, but
it's too late.
It's a 1 for 5, baby. It's not worth.
They put Vi Ari combo plus Ezreal, and it took half of Heru's health on the Cassiopeia at that point. Like, that's how you know the game's kind of cooked at that point in the game. I also look at ThunderTalk's coaching staff. They brought in Benny, who was the coach of Ultra Prime previously. He's had some individual successes in just being able to take some younger rosters and bring them to some prevalence. I'm excited to see what this guy can do, especially with the ThunderTalk lineup that has been on the up and up. And now it's like, where else are we going? I'm looking at the schedule right now. What games do ThunderTalk play? They play against JDG. That team is 0-2 right now. That's free. They play against AL. We'll see what happens. They play against WE as well. So maybe a coming back down to earth in week 2. But if they win 2 out of 3 of these next series, over the moon.
I mean, yeah, absolutely. You know, you would take 1 win in the next 3 series at this stage, because 0-3 start, really, really rough in what is going to be, you know, a somewhat condensed season. You're only going to play 14 series. 3 is a pretty big percentage of that. You know, do some quick math in your head if you like. It's a little over 20% there. Not going to feel very good, especially if that loss streak continues on going. You've got plenty of tough matchups ahead of you. We talked at the beginning of the night, these matchups within the promotion teams are going to be so critical, assuming that nobody levels up and starts to really be considered among those top teams. ThunderTalk getting this win, going to be huge for them. And EDG now being 0-2 against their counterparts.
Yeah.
I mean, they're basically out of their conversation. If they want to be able to get out of the play-in stage, it's going to need to be on the back of wins against top 5 teams.
Yeah, and then that's also not including that they then need to win against them in the second round robin, right?
Yeah.
You need to be able to beat ThunderTalk and have a better match score. That's probably what it's going to come down to. For anybody who doesn't know, a lot of our tiebreakers and head-to-heads goes to game record first, or game differential, and then head-to-head. So you need to make up a lot of lost ground against the top teams here in the LPL, which does not seem like that is going to be the case if this is the Edward Gaming we're going to get for the rest of the season. We're waiting to see who our player of the match and player of the series is. In this game, I think probably could go to On for game number 2 on the Jin.
I'm on board for that.
Yeah.
Him or Feather. Oh.
Okay.
Wow.
Get solo kill twice into MVP. It's gonna be the fact that he landed the ultimate onto leave underneath their tier 2 that kind of helped end the game. The casters know. I see that smile, and I'm gonna interpret that as we know who.
Computer. Give me the Keshi MVP.
Show me. I've never been so invested in A.
There it is.
Wait, okay. 3 votes top lane, 2 votes jungle, 1 vote mid, 1 vote bottom lane, 1 vote. We voted for all 5 players. It actually is an AI diff.
Everybody else split the votes, and the fans, the AI, and one of the refs are the ones who decide our MVP today.
Computer generate me a top lane vote. 3 out of 8 votes is a majority. Wonderful.
It's a plurality. It is not a majority.
Wow. I can just imagine what this says is Keshi got MVP because even though he got completely bodied in the first 15 minutes of the game, he stayed stalwart and resolute, and he had game-defining picks at the end of the day. And it's a Junhao player of the match. Wonderful.
He's
well
gonna be
deserved.
stacking those up this year,
Yes,
assuming
he
the
is.
ThunderTalk can win more
30
series.
KDA!
This guy's cooking, man. I mean, keep an eye on this ThunderTalk. If this ThunderTalk team is good, Junhao's going to be in the All-Pro teams. Tremendous through 3 series. Tremendous 360. I said if ThunderTalk is good. If ThunderTalk stays bad, then forget about it. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah. His KDA for week 1 is going to go nuts. He helped take Dragon. All right, that's how I know. Computer, let's wrap this match up and get ourselves ready for game number 3 or series number 3 of the night, Gordo.
Yeah, we're going to hand you guys over to Jbeto and Slayer. Stay tuned to find out who helps take the Dragon in series number 3. But it's been a party with you.